I got a message today. I got up early, and as I'm walking, I'm getting this whole thing. So, well, let me tell you what happened. I have this in my sweatpants, and I hear beep, beep, beep. What's that? Sammy starts to bark. It's not a ringtone for me. I have a harp ringtone, and I have my text message goes doo 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 doo. I don't have a beep, beep, beep. And I'm looking around. Nothing. Beep, beep, beep. What the? Beep, beep, beep. And it's coming from my pocket. So I go in, I look at my phone, and there's a message. It's a YouTube video. It's not a message. It's on my message. It's on just in front of my phone, and it's a YouTube video. I don't have an app that takes me to YouTube. I have nothing for YouTube. And it's a spiritual message. And it starts addressing, I play it because I'm like, what is this? And it starts addressing everything I am going through. Right? But I was yelling this morning because I was not a happy camper, and I was yelling, how could you abandon me like this and throw more of this shit? What? I don't have enough freaking shit on my plate, that kind of thing. And I'm yelling at, yes, you're having a. Are you kidding me with this crap? What did I do? Was I really Attila the Hun in a past life? I'm going off and off and off. This message was the most inspiring thing, and it was everything. I mean, it pinpointed. It even said things about freedom and said that I'm on the right path to obtaining freedom as Yeshua had meant it. I mean, it was out of control. I actually called Dave and woke him up and said, you're not going to believe what I'm getting. So one of my statements is, I'm going to share this because this applies to everyone, and I was told to share it. One of my statements that I always say is, I don't believe in miracles. And the reason I don't believe in miracles is, to me, a miracle is something you didn't think could happen. I believe beyond a shadow of a doubt, anything can happen. I believe I could fly. Maybe not today without planes or equipment. Maybe not today, but when I reach a level. There is nothing, but if the divine creator wanted me to fly, I could fly. So I really don't believe there's anything that can't happen. So what I got was, that's what I always say. The opening thing of this, no, because I don't have it anymore. The opening thing of this voice was that talks about miracles. And the first thing out of my head was, I don't believe in miracles, right? Because I believe everything could happen. So when I heard the thing about miracles, if you have faith in me, miracles will come into your life. I actually wrote it down. So let me give it exact. On my phone, I was like, wow. I put it, miracle begins where faith starts. And I was like, but I don't believe in miracles, because anything can happen. And then I heard the laughter, I love when the divine laughs at me. You Momo. And when we freak out about anything, right? Something comes to us. If we had 100% faith, would we be freaking out? No. Would we feel overwhelmed if we had 100% faith? No. So the question became to me was, not from the video, what I was getting, that was just a start to start me on this whole journey, was, why am I overwhelmed? Why am I freaking out? And even though I know all this, sometimes we forget to go and find it, right? So why am I freaking out? Why am I overwhelmed? Why am I all this stuff? Why am I worried about the new pile of poop that was just dropped on my doorstep? That's pretty significant and important in this world. And it's like, are you kidding me? They're coming after me more. And if I had 100% faith, which I do, like many of you, we all believe in the divine creator. We all believe in the Christ light. We all believe in Yeshua, right? We have that faith. But what do? We go, first action, right? The paperwork comes in, the first reaction. Oh my gosh, what am I going to do? Blah, 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 right? You go into this, you leave your faith, which is what I did. I have been so busy, I haven't taken time to chat for me, except to yell and bitch sometimes. And I got, well, if you really believed in me, which I know you do because we have this great relationship, why are you freaking out? If everything is and then the miracle statement was thrown in my face. So if you don't believe in miracles and you truly believe everything is possible, why would you ever believe this would affect you in any way? Or I wouldn't be there to get you out of this trouble, or whatever. I wouldn't be there to protect you, or whatever. And that led back to Thursday's night meditation thing, where we spoke about there are a lot of people here who are not focusing on obtaining mastery. Mastery is when you can do exactly what Yeshua did, when you can do what the Ascended Masters did, when you can wield the power at will, standing in divine truth, being divine love. Not everybody wants to do that in this embodiment. And there's millions of people who just believe in the Christ light, I don't care about their faith, whatever their faith is to the higher aspects of divinity. They believe in it, and that will get them through. But they're not mastering. So what was being said Thursday was mastery is those who really, truly want to have the focus on wielding divine powers, being divine love, and standing in divine truth. Fine. But that doesn't mean if you fail at mastery in this embodiment, you're not going to ascend. It's like you have a really good heart and you're going to ascend, but you decide to learn how to paint. Well, if you don't learn how to paint, doesn't mean you're not going to ascend. So we have really good hearts. And if your heart is connected to your divinity, to the divine Christ light, to the light, and you want to venture out and try something greater and reach for a higher height and you don't make it, doesn't mean you're not going to ascend. So somewhere in quite a few of you, because I heard this is a spread out, like a lot of people have this program in them, and I have it too. Somewhere in our ultimate programming, we believe that, oh my gosh, if I fail at mastery, I'm not going to make the ascension. So we work even harder at it. Does that resonate with quite a few of you? And for some reason, we think if we don't make mastery, oh my gosh, we're going to be left in the pits of hell for another 26,000-year cycle. We are forgetting that we have befriended Lord Yeshua, the Christ light, the divinity, and that if we remain in that, we'll be fine. Again, it's just because I took up painting and I'm not going to master it before I ascend doesn't mean I'm not going to ascend. And so we think we have to be these great masters. And in doing so, what kicks in? The control. What happens when the shit came through? I went, are you kidding me? The first thing I started to do was rant and rave. Not that big thing, right? I started looking straight up and blaming. Are you kidding me? Are you really telling me you are allowing this to happen right now with all this other stuff I'm juggling? Are you really kidding me? Are you kidding me? That's all I could get out. Like, what? I was in shock. And it spiraled me. Instead of saying, okay, you got this. Instead of bitching or complaining, are you kidding me? Why didn't I just merely say, you got this? And listened. So I got today with the miracle thing, you don't believe anything could happen, because if you did, you wouldn't get upset. Bam! Right? So it goes back to precious faith. How many of you are struggling through something, whether it be physical health, family, anything? And we try, right? We're going to control it. We're going to take care of it. So this is my message that I got after that miracle thing. So tell me why. Tell me why you will connect to get messages for everybody else, to assist other people. But when something happens to you, you don't stop to connect. I was like, that's not true. Right? I do for the little stuff, but I don't for the big stuff. I go into fear. And how many of you, when you hear or get, or something crazy is happening in your life, you kind of go into fear? Oh my gosh, victim fear. Why me? What do you think? Are you kidding me? What do you think that's translated as? Why me? What did I do to deserve this crap? That's victim. All of us, we're connected to the collective consciousness of mankind. And that collective consciousness, 80% of it is controlled by the satanic Luciferian energy, which is what? Fear. We got 20%, probably even less at this point, maybe 2% of the people who are holding the Christ light. Love. Because all those who say they do, they're not holding divine love. They're holding mankind love. There's always attachments. So what have we been taught to do? And all these patriot movements and everything, put on the armor of God and fight. No, we're not to fight. Christ light doesn't fight. The Christ light creates. It's like an ant coming after you. Would you go into fear? Are you kidding me? Get out of my way. So, why are everybody fighting? Because this whole patriot movement doesn't really have a true connection with the Christ light, with divinity, or they wouldn't be fighting. The armor of God isn't to fight. The armor of God is to give you strength so you can clear and get out of your own way. It's to get through. And do you think for one moment Yeshua, or the divine aspect, the divine Christ light, doesn't have any concept what it's like to be mankind? And the ultimate forgiveness was when he stopped all that stuff and took it on for us. So he knows we're momos. The divine creator knows, she knows we're momos. The divine creator knows we're momos. It knows our struggles. It knows our weaknesses. Let's just speak about Yeshua for a minute. Knows everything about who we are. They see our light. They know who we are. They know our hearts. So, do you think for a minute they're not going to comprehend that we're losing it? They're not going to comprehend what's going on. And I have been told many times by the ascended masters, you're in the what do they call it? Out in the field. We're in the field fighting, but we're not fighting, facing the enemy face to face. If we fight, we lose, because that's the will of darkness. If we light, we win, because that's the power of divinity. So we have been taught to go after everything. We have been taught to fight. I am so sick and tired of hearing this statement, we are in a war. We're at war. No, we're not. You all may be at war. I'm not. The only individual I'm at war with is myself. I'm not at war with anybody. Because an elephant cannot be at war with an ant. It just can't happen. Because all the elephant has to do is go, ant is gone. So for all those out there that are listening and paying attention to all this warring, we're at war with this, with this, with that, I'd like to tell you, you lost your faith. And for somebody, Terry says, except for those in the military field, fighting to take men and women back, they're doing that because they're in the collectiveness. And that's the way they see out, because the collectiveness is not at the level of lighting and illuminating everything. If 80% of us were in Christ light, darkness couldn't have a hold on our children anymore. There would be no reason for them. They couldn't stay. There would be no reason for anybody to go fight and get them, because that wouldn't have happened. You see, so they're in the 3D world in the midst of darkness. So they are addressing it as fighting. Doesn't mean the people are veterans and it doesn't mean that, oh my gosh, they're going into the 3D realm. That's their experience. That's what they chose. But that's not what we're doing. Not at all. We are here to light it up. Now, if we light it up, we wouldn't have to have veterans anymore. If we light it up, the gangster banksters would disappear. If we light it up, we would be free. So, do we not believe that we can call and have faith? And it's kind of like this. And many people, their moms and dads may have let them down. My father never, ever let me down. Maybe a little thing here and there, like, oh, where are you coming to this? Whatever. But for the most part, I never doubted that my dad wouldn't be there if I got in trouble. Actually, I never doubted that if I got in serious trouble, my father would give his life for me. Never in a second doubted that. And that's why I did everything I did, because I knew that if I got in any kind of trouble, I was fearless when I was a kid. I rode my bicycle off the roof into the pool and crashed the pool apart, and broke it all down. I did all kinds of crazy things because I knew no matter what I did, my dad would be there for me. I'd scream and yell at me a little bit, but he would be there. So I tried everything. There wasn't a thing I didn't try. I never had fear. A lot of us didn't have that. A lot of people didn't have moms and dads that they knew beyond a shadow of a doubt were there for them, whether it was their programming or anything. I can't say that about my mom. I can only say that about my dad. So that's what we have to bring ourselves back to, having faith, that divine is like, I'll say my dad. I know beyond a shadow of a doubt it's there for me. And that's what this is all about. That's what real faith is. I can do anything. What's that expression? What's the thing? I can do anything with Christ. I can do anything because I know without a shadow of a doubt that the divine's got my back. And here's the kicker. I have clear communication. I get to chat with them clearly. And I'm struggling. What kind of faith do you have to have if you didn't have that ability? So, it's so important. So that was my beep, beep, beep message. And I got home and people called, all kinds of things happened, and the issue is almost a done deal. The very thing that put me 2 days in a spiral. So, have faith. And how many of you have seen what we're going to say miracle? Oh my gosh, I didn't believe this happened, right? Because now I'm going to use that word. How many of you have seen amazing things happen in your life? Or in anybody else's? Like the phone beeping, telling me to pick up the call and listen to what I got to say, you know? And yet we still doubt. Why? Why are we doubting? We have no doubt there's Satan, right? We have absolutely no doubt there's satanic demonic on this earth, right? Does anybody doubt that there's demonic energy on this earth? We have more, believe it or not, I hate to say this, but we have more belief that Satan is real than that divinity is real as a society. If it was the other way around where we had more faith in divinity, we wouldn't have worry. We wouldn't have strife. We wouldn't have panic. We wouldn't have victim consciousness. We wouldn't have any darkness on this planet. So every time, and I have absolutely no doubt every one of you have gone through this. Every time, oh my God, I can't believe I'm sick. How did this happen? Oh my God, I got this. Oh my God, I got that. Oh, I can't believe, look at this letter. Look at this. Come on. We've all done it. Every time we do that, where is our focus? Where's our faith? In Satan. And that was my message today from them. So, you know, they don't care. Divinity, Yeshua, does not care about anything that's thrown at you because Yeshua and divinity can handle it. The only time it can't be handled is when you're in fear. And here's the real kicker. When you're in fear, you're telling your Christ light to go away. Because it's the rule of dominion, the law of dominion. Divinity will not cross your dominion. If you're choosing fear, you're choosing Satan, satanic, dark energy, in which case the Christ light has to say, enjoy your choice and do nothing. Sit and watch. Sit and watch until you say, yo, Christ light, Yeshua, God, divinity, whatever you'd like to call it. I need your assistance. 911. And that's my favorite song in the world. And Bob Joyce sings it, Jesus on the Main Line. Whatever you need, this is basically the theme of the song. Whatever you need, call them up. So if we're struggling with mastery, for those of you who want to be master, that's part of the 36ers, that's part of the Tuesdays and Thursdays. We are going out there head on, remembering how to be a master and to wield divine power. If you're struggling with this, you can pick this up, and there's a phone number in here that assists. Hey, I need some assistance with remembering mastery. And you don't think you're going to get it? And what happens is, much like me, I was so busy. Don't get me wrong, the divine was dumping all this information down for me for all kinds of things on how we get out of the system, because we contracted into this, and this is what masters are doing. You don't have to if you don't want to, but the masters want to do this because they want to have mastery over divine power. So all this is coming on how to do this and the remembrance of this, and you've got to get rid of these contracts you signed. However, and stand in divine righteousness, but you never run and hide. However, when all that's coming to me now, I'm remembering this and I'm learning new things and I'm remembering and I'm being brought to new people. I got so busy, I forgot to stop. I was dialing up every third dimensional Momo I could think of okay, I need to know how to do this. I need to know how to do this. Do you know how anybody do land patterns? Okay, I have a question on this land pattern. Do you know how to do this? How do we do this? I was spending so much time, I forgot to dial 333. Yeshua. And he's sitting there just laughing. The divine is just laughing at me. Momo, when are you going to learn? You know this inside and out. You know this better than 99.9% of the people, yet you forget. And that's with every one of us. If you don't want to be a master, that's fine. Still, have that awesome, 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 awesome connection with the divine, the Christ light, because that's the only way out. And if you want to be those who mastery, you still need that awesome connection, but ask that awesome connection to assist you in mastery. Duh, I could have had a V8. And for those, I would like to say this about the military. Doesn't mean they're doing anything wrong. They're doing what they deem is right. But could you imagine if at once every military soldier stepped into divine power, they would never need a weapon again. All they'd have to do is send some Christ light, bubble the enemy up, be gone. We'd never need ammunition. We'd never need guns. There's nothing more powerful than the Christ light. And there's proof of that. There are many monks, because all they do for 24 hours a day is sit in Christ light. There are many, many monks who can actually catch a bullet and stop it. They're using the Christ light. So it has more power over everything. We've been proving that. We've been proving a lot of things. And you know what's really interesting is right now there is a movement on to convince everybody that Yeshua wasn't real. Yeshua never died on a cross. Yeshua never did anything. It's all fake, like everything else we've been told. So I wonder why they're doing that. Like I said, someone got upset with me because I believed in the Bible. I believe the Bible is a trust. Trust is the highest law. Everything, this whole thing. And I believed in this great book. And they said, oh my God, didn't you know Satan wrote that? I can look at this through the codes and the eyes of the divine and never see anything evil in this. Never. If you read it thoroughly and ask to see the truth will always be exposed. Now, I can pick up any document that's written by Satan and I can feel it, drop it in a heartbeat. Ugh, burns my fingers, burns my heart. I want nothing to do with it. I have no doubt when something is satanic in my world. None. So why wouldn't I believe this was if I didn't? And there's nothing in here that tells you to do anything evil. The explanations about sacrificing virgins and all that other stuff is the old law. It's not the new law of when we stepped into our Christ light. It was the law when the Christ light barely was on the planet, the earth. The law of the Christ light came when Yeshua anchored it and took back trusteeship, because the divine, the first two, gave up executive trustee, the trustee, to the garden of divinity, to Satan. And for all those years, Satan was executive trustee. Then Yeshua came and took back the trusteeship. And now anyone who stands and believes in divine righteousness, who stands under the law of the trust, which is the 10 Commandments, which is basically do unto others as you would have them do unto you. You don't want people to lie to you, so don't lie to them. You don't want people to steal from you, so don't steal from them. It's basically, that's the law. That's the law of the indenture. That's the law of the trust. And if you abide by the law of the trust, guess what? You will be the benefactor. You will be you will be the beneficiary. Not the benefactor. You will be the beneficiary. You will receive the promise of the trust, which is eternal life. Why do we die in 3D? Because we don't stand in divine righteousness. We really don't. I don't care how good you think you are. I had this conversation with someone else who said, oh, I don't want to lie. I'm like, are you kidding me? You lie every day of your life. Every one of you lie every day of your life. Every one of you, when you go into some kind of fear, are lying to yourself. You're not who you really are. Every one of you go, oh, look at these wrinkles. I'm getting old. That's a lie. You're living a lie. Everything about you is a lie. Everything you've been taught is a lie. The only truth is divinity. So don't say you don't lie, because that's a lie. We all lie. Oh, I'm sick. That's not a lie. You have a dis-ease in the system because you chose it. Stand in the power and unchoose it and recreate. Requalify the energy you misqualified. Stop lying to yourself. Easier said than done. Okay, let me put this back on. So that was the whole message. I thought it was amazing, and I was told to share it, and I did. Hi, I'm Lena from PowerPassionFreedom.com. If you liked what you heard, why don't you come and join us on Sundays? We do a whole free question and answer period followed by a meditation. Bring all your questions. All you have to do is go to PowerPassionFreedom.com to register for Sunday. Oh, and don't forget to like us and subscribe to us below, because we're always adding new meditations and content, and you don't want to miss out on it. I'll see you Sunday.